Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats performed on SNL. So did Nathaniel Rateliff. Are you confused? Well, I am too, just a little bit, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Hey everybody, Chris King here with Love Live Music. Thanks so much for clicking onto my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm so happy that you found me, and I would love it if you would like this video or subscribe. That would be awesome. It would encourage me to continue to make more. If you've been here before, then you know the drill. I love live music, and you probably do too. And I like to watch live music performance, even if it has to be on television, because nobody's really going to a lot of shows right now. And the television that I watch weekly for like my entire life has always been Saturday Night Live. This week, their musical guest was Nathaniel Rateliff. What did I think about Nathaniel Rateliff? What did you think about Nathaniel Rateliff? You're going to leave me some responses in the comments. We can talk about it there, but here's my take, because I thought it was very interesting. I can't say that I've ever seen it go down like this before. Before I get to that, a little history. I'm not the biggest Nathaniel Rateliff expert or fan in the world. Am I a fan? Yes. Particularly of some of the stuff that he was doing in 2016-ish, 2017. As a matter of fact, it's an artist that I've always wanted to work with. But let me tell you, his popularity just kind of went on a rocket. You know, he went from playing clubs the size of the venues that I have to like 24 months later, he's recording a live album at Red Rocks. You know, one of the greatest venues that you could ever perform at, Red Rocks. And so it's interesting that now one of the greatest live TV gigs you can have on SNL is where we find Nathaniel Rateliff. And what's interesting to me is that I'm not sure how the call was made for him to be on at this moment in time in his career. He hasn't had a new album out in a year-ish, and I don't think anything is currently charting. I could be totally wrong. You could be a huge Nathaniel Rateliff fan. You could be like, dude, you're wrong. And I will accept that. All that being said, I don't know who makes the call at SNL to bring on their musical guests. I would love to have the job. I'll probably never have that job. But in any event, Nathaniel Rateliff, it's a good choice, especially for those of us who really love or have a history and a background with quote unquote indie folk, which is a little bit interesting because last week's guest, Phoebe Bridgers, falls somewhat into the same type of category. Probably some crossover in the fan base between Nathaniel Rateliff, who might veer a little bit more on the Americana side of like Lumineers or Dr. Dog, Mumford & Sons, along that line. But nevertheless, also is under that indie folk banner to a lot of people. To me, the artist has always reminded me of Van Morrison or even Delbert McClinton. So, without further ado, let's get into the performances. He kicks it off with a song called Redemption. I was unfamiliar with this song, and he was introduced by the host of SNL, Regina King, as, ladies and gentlemen, Nathaniel Rateliff. And the stage set looks great. It's him front and center, making good eye contact, good microphone control. He's got his keyboard player. He's got a guitar player. He's got his drummer. He's got 3 background singers, which was a little distracting for me, but I still like the look of the stage setup. And if you ever hear me talk about, well, this singer is definitely live, or this singer is lip syncing to their own self or whatever, you know, one of the tells on that is as they move their head back and forth from the microphone and how some artists use that as a volume control. And you see Nathaniel Rateliff do this excellently as he controls his own volume, loud to soft, to fading his voice out by leaning back from the mic. And that's a good sign of a live performer. And the song was good. It was great for what it is, not necessarily what I'm listening to at this time. But again, I like the presentation of it. I liked how it looked. I liked how it sounded. Everything was cool. Then he comes out for the second number, Host, as they do. You know, this is how they always do it on SNL. On the first song, it's ladies and gentlemen, your name, you know. And on the second one, it's once again, here's, and then the name of the band. So the first time Regina King said, ladies and gentlemen, Nathaniel Rateliff. The second time it was, once again, here's Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. Immediately I'm thinking, well, that's odd. I wonder what happened between the two songs. Did he go and say, hey, you didn't have me billed correctly? Or, and as I'm thinking this, there's the stage and the background singers are gone. They're replaced by a horn section. So I guess maybe the first one was Nathaniel Rateliff and the second one, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. I've never seen this done on Saturday Night Live before. Don't have a problem with it. I just thought that it was interesting, and maybe you did too. So the second track was A Little Honey, and it was decidedly more up-tempo. As a matter of fact, starts off with our star, Nathaniel Rateliff, at the keys. So the keyboards are kind of in an L shape or a right angle, and his keyboard player from the previous song is on one side, Nathaniel Rateliff's on the other side. An excellent representation of the fact that this guy isn't just a guitar strummer. He can also play the keys. He's also an excellent vocalist. So it was nice to see that. A little distracting the way that he was seated, that he wasn't facing the audience. He was looking like sideways off camera. And I'm not sure why the camera didn't work with him on that in dress rehearsal. About halfway through the song, he gets up. He goes front and center. He's going to do it frontman style. Snapping his fingers, rocking out a little bit, still looking off to the side, which just threw me off because, you know, I think on SNL you play to the crowd and you play to the cameras. You keep an eye contact with the cameras in most cases. That wasn't the case on this performance, but I did like this song better than the first one. I enjoyed the horn section. They're kind of in the dark. I'm not sure why they weren't lit up like the background singers were on the first track, but hey, that's his artistic choice. All in all, if you're not a fan or you're not familiar with Nathaniel Rateliff, then I would say jump on your streaming service and check out the songs S.O.B., also known as Son of a Bitch, and then check out Look At Here. I love both of those songs. I still play them all the time in my restaurant, and I can't imagine not hearing those if I ever went to a Nathaniel Rateliff concert. Knowing that he went back in his catalog and didn't really present anything brand new, he went back in his catalog for both performances. Yeah, I wish he would have chosen some of that has like a revival, gospel, uplifting, upbeat sound. But hey, he makes his decisions, and it doesn't make me any less of a fan of Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. Did you enjoy it? Because I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite thing of the year, but it was far from my least favorite performance of the year. And I can't wait to see what SNL has planned for the rest of the year. You know, I made this video that's coming up on your screen about that a few weeks ago, trying to predict who they might have. And I left off some of my favorites. It's interesting that they put Nathaniel Rateliff on and right after Phoebe Bridgers, and I know she's up for a Grammy, but it really makes me hopeful. It would be awesome if SNL said, hey, the Hold Steady has a brand new record coming out. Let's put the Hold Steady on. Or, hey, Guided by Voices is a legend in their scene. Let's put Bob Pollard and GBV on SNL. That would be an ultimate dream for me. And what's really a dream for me is that all of you guys have been giving me such good feedback and subscribing and liking my channel and just really encouraging, and I appreciate it. I've got some more videos coming up now. Honestly, I'm snowed in for like several days. It's freezing cold where I live. There's 10 inches of snow on the ground, and I'll probably be making a lot of videos for you this week. Thanks. I love live music.